Okay, well, I'm sorry to bother you at home. Okay, so yeah, I don't want to call this like a crisis. I'm all of a sudden the resident host for the wine and cheese. I have two kinds of cheese. This is a Gruyere.
Gruyere, yeah, great. Cave aged cow cheese, Switzerland. Um,
Cave aged.
yeah, typically, yeah, the classic Gruyères are cave aged. I mean,
Oh
you
my
did
god.
call it a cheese and wine geek. This is the kind of info you get.
Okay, this one is okay. I like blue cheese.
Yeah,
This is too much of it. Ooh, this is capital F funky.
capital F funky. Okay, it's I don't know what it is exactly, but yeah, there's like the funkies, the super funky and the funky. I mean,
Oh,
do you like blue cheese?
I like it. Like I like a blue cheese dressing. I like a
Right.
gorgonzola. I like it on stuff. I don't like holding an entire quantity of it in my hand.
Well, you could put it down.
I should put it down.
I mean, just thinking.
Thank God you're here, right? Because this is
I really do not know what you would do without me.
it's troubling. I think I have some almonds or some dried black beans
Okay, almonds would be better for a charcuterie board, sure.
or women's daily whites. It's healthy.
It's healthy. Are you inviting women to the party?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
100%.
100% women.
Yeah, 100%. I told you I can't get men to come to my apartment.
It's because you offer things like dried beans or women's daily vitamins.
I don't know what wine to get. The wine that I have is this
Yeah.
Magnum bottle
Uh huh.
of Merlot.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I would probably do white wine with that Gruyere that you've got if I were to pair cheese and wine.
This does say award winning,
Yeah, so many things are award winning these days.
world's most admired wine brand.
Yeah, I mean, with wine, it's kind of like it's like kids with sporting events. Everybody gets a trophy.
Okay, so a white wine. I'll get a white wine. What, any specific type?
I think something like that. You don't want like a big oaky Chardonnay. You want something that's kind of crisp and zippy. So I would say like a dry Riesling or a really nice quality Pinot Grigio or Pinot Blanc. Chablis. If you could find a Chablis, that would be cool.
Great. Okay. Okay. So, and that does that work for both? Or
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, I probably with the big hunk of blue cheese you got there, I'd probably do a red. I mean, the classic pairing with blue cheese is port, which is a sweet wine, but I don't think you want a sweet wine. So, like a big robust red, you could pour the Frontera with it. I mean, it'll work, but you could do something like, you could go to southern Italy and get something from Puglia or Sicily, for instance, which would be kind of cool. You could go to a wine store and go to the southern Italy section, and you could get something from like Puglia or Sicily.
okay. So no need for a passport for that is what I'm hearing.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. So I'm going to go to the wine store.
Yeah.
I think I got this in the old brain box. Look, we
Yeah.
got some good choices here.
I think so.
So this is a primitivo.
Primitivo. Just say it like you're an Italian, and then everybody thinks you speak Italian. It's good.
Okay, so I have my Gobama glass, roll tide.
Which is the kind of glass you want for red wine, I think.
Is this a myth that if as a waitress, if it glugged, it would be we were not supposed to do that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Like if you're serving professionally, you don't want to do gluck, gluck, gluck at the table just because it sounds weird. It's kind of like not pro, but at home, who cares?
If it was like a myth or something that aerates.
Yeah, there's all sorts of. I mean, there's all sorts of like restaurant service things like you know, you serve from the right or the left, whatever it is. You make sure you pour with the label out on the bottle. There you go. You don't pour it into the customer's laps by accident, all that kind of stuff.
Right, did that once.
Yeah, it's not a happy thing.
No big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna try to pour gluglessly. Oh, it's already glugging. I haven't there.
I wouldn't worry about it. Usually, you kind of pour to where the glass bends, like where it goes out and then back in. That's kind of where you hit the line there.
Hmm.
See, you're spot on there. You're good.
Oh, you should have just said the second polka dot.
Yeah, or the second polka dot. Also, a typical. That's a kind of a classic, restaurant pour thing. Pour to the second polka dot,
It's a sommelier thing.
and then yell "Roll Tide" like crazy.
Oh, this is great. This smells. Do you know what I'm supposed to be smelling? Is this like the answer and I'm just guessing?
Well, it's gonna smell if it's classic sort of Primitivo, Negro Amaro, those grapes. It's gonna be kind of like blackberries, blackberry, black currant. Maybe a little black cherry. It'll smell fruity because it's pretty ripe region. Should smell good. That's the main thing.
I'm gonna get. It's like it's heavy alcohol smelling.
It's probably a little high alcohol. Again, like the southern Italian regions are pretty warm, so the grapes get riper, so they produce, the riper the grapes, generally the higher the alcohol level. I think you
Um,
gotta taste it, see what it tastes like.
and which this goes with the blue cheese.
I'm hoping it goes with the blue cheese. I mean, the truth is, if you don't like the cheese, there's not a wine in the world that's going to taste great with
I'm just gonna need something to help me choke this down.
it. Yeah, so
I can't disappoint my guests.
yeah,
Okay.
tequila maybe.
Should I? What's the order?
Well, so if I was like if I was teaching a seminar on tasting wine with cheese or so on, I would sip the wine first, so you know what the wine tastes like. Then I would have a bite of cheese. Then I would sip the wine again to see what it does to the wine.
I do not want to eat this.
You have no choice.
Ugh. Oh my god! It's like it's. I can smell it throughout the whole room. Okay, I have to taste like 5 more sips. Would you eat this quantity of blue cheese? No, nobody would, right?
I mean, honestly, if it's that insanely strong, it's going to kind of mess up any wine you have with it. But give it a shot. It's worth it. It's worth a try.
Right. It's not bad.
That's pretty good. If it's not bad, I mean, like I said, if it's a cheese you don't like, it isn't going to matter what wine it is because it's just not. You're just not going to like it. The food always kind of wins. But does it taste better than it smells?
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna do it. Okay. Jeez. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do one where I eat it and then
Taste,
I.
sip the wine, right?
Mhm.
Tastes pretty good.
Okay.
Eat the
Yep.
cheese,
Mhm.
finish the
Yep.
cheese.
Ooh.
Yeah, apparently fairly intense.
Yeah.
And then have a sip of the wine. I mean, I would guess even if you don't love that cheese, it probably works pretty well with the wine. The wine's big enough that it's going to have to be able to stand up to the cheese.
It's a good like salt. It's super salty.
Yeah, blue cheese is always super salty.
It's a good. It just. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it actually works. Like the alcohol and the fruitiness of the wine with the salt and cheese actually works pretty well together. And the other thing is that salt makes things taste less sour or less tangy. So wine, which is naturally kind of a little bit tangy or tart, that salt in the cheese is going to make the wine actually taste more fruity than it is normally. So
Okay.
it kind of mellows out the wine, and at the same time, the wine gets rid of all the fat and the cheese in your mouth. So it actually works. It actually does work pretty well together, wine and cheese.
Mm. I feel like I really set us up for failure, but we got to a good place there.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, so for the cheese that I like, the Gruyere, right?
Yes.
This is not the right knife.
It's a bread knife, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so I've chilled the Riesling a little bit.
Right. And it's a dry Riesling,
Yes, of course.
right? And
That
from a local producer from the Finger Lakes in New York, which is cool. I always find Riesling like it probably will smell a little bit like green apples.
yes,
That's my general Riesling sense. Could be like
yes.
peaches a little bit, but green apples a lot of the time.
Okay, so this
Dang.
one goes in. Does this go all the way up to here in this glass?
That glass is so weird. I don't even know what to tell you.
Oh my god.
I would say it goes up to where the amount is that you want to drink.
Okay, yeah, it's not. Yeah, definitely a green apple vibe.
Yeah, and it should taste like, so taste the wine. It'll be more tart than the red wine was probably. Um, Fairly dry, tangy. It probably green apple flavor too to some degree.
Yeah.
Zippy, if you
Mm.
want a technical term.
Zippy.
Zippy.
Yes, that is what I'm tasting.
So then take a bite of the cheese. Try the
Okay.
cheese. Should taste good with the cheese. The cheese should taste good.
Mhm.
You gotta chew that cheese. Take a while to eat that cheese because that's a big piece of cheese. So I'll just keep talking while you deal with the fact that you're eating cheese while we're talking.
So how much before the party should you pull the cheese out and
I,
the wine?
I take it out. Yeah, I take it out of the fridge like an hour before the party. Honestly, because you don't want it to be cold. You want it to be. You don't want it to be hot, obviously, because that's gross unless it's a grilled cheese sandwich. And you don't want it to be. It's sort of like if it's 5 degrees below room temperature, it's good temperature. So, especially if it's like a soft cheese, like a brie or something like that, you want it to actually be soft and not it'll firm up when it's in the fridge. So I'd pull it out like an hour beforehand and keep it in the wrapper and then unwrap it and serve it right before the party.
Okay.
That's my advice on that at least.
And the white wine, 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes. The red, I actually like to toss reds in the fridge for like 30 minutes before I serve them because red wines, when they're right at room temperature or they're a little warm, they actually smell a little more alcoholic. And if you drop it down, it's like ideally you want your reds to be like a few degrees below room temperature. So like, just so it tastes more refreshing. It's a little cooler, tastes better that way.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Yeah, and don't tell them I told you any of this.
Oh, no, I'm going to take 100% of the credit.
Yeah, that's how I sort of figured.
I would never shovel that at 100%. No thanks.
Have a great night, too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Ray doesn't have to be just my personal wine and cheese consultant. He can also be yours. So subscribe to this YouTube channel or text him at any hours. His number is...
Wait a minute.
Do both of those things.